Hoobity hoo, and how do you do? Welcome to Walkies and Talkies, walking with you. On today's very special episode, we have the founder and CEO, Anthony Cuddy, of the amazing One Nation Management, also known as One Nation Manga. You bet on One Nation, you never have to bet again. He is an amazing individual. He started as an independent comic creator and saw the value and the importance of building community. Everyone, welcome to the podcast, Anthony Cuddy.
Camie, thank you so much. It's an honor to be here. Just want to say major respect and want to give you your flowers for putting together, this platform and giving just people opportunity to speak and share. It's really appreciated what you do.
You're most welcome, most welcome. Again, it's create having that safe space for creatives to share who they are behind their products and projects. So thank you. So we'll jump right in. For those add on to what I've said about you, introduce yourself to the people who don't know you.
Yeah, so my name's Anthony Cutting. I'm from the Cleveland, Ohio area. I started off, as Camie mentioned, as a indie manga writer 8 years ago. I got really inspired when I was up in Detroit, Michigan with my cousins and his friends, and they put on an anime called Neo Yokio. And the main character was a black protagonist, which first has shocked me. And then finding out that Jaden Smith was his voice actor, I was like, what? I was like, Jaden Smith, I was like, if he could do this, I could do this. And at that time, I really wasn't aware of the black presence in like mainstream animation projects. This being on Netflix was huge. So that kind of is what spearheaded my career of becoming an indie manga writer myself.
Thank you for sharing that. It is amazing just to see that somebody who's a regular person doing something on a celebrity regular level and you being inspired by that. So thank you so much for sharing. So starting off with, what is bringing you joy in life at this moment? What sparks your joy every day or on a long day?
I love that question. Honestly, I would say the simplicity. I just did a huge relocation from Cleveland, Ohio to Dallas, Texas. And it's honestly just the piece of waking up every day and being able to just give thanks to God for the air in my lungs, being able to take my dog on a walk, being able to check on my family, make sure that their health is good, meditate, affirmations, and then find a quiet place to read a book and write. So those are the things that are bringing me the most joy.
That is beautiful. We often take the little things for granted. So thank you for sharing that. It's definitely those little things. They remind us of our human side sometimes. So yeah. All right. Our next question is your self care. So a lot of people they misconstrue self care as like, oh, I'm gonna go do my hygiene or go, you know, spend money on myself. When I say self care, it's how you pour back into yourself. When your cup is running empty, you're running low, you're feeling burnt out. What's your go to thing to do or place to be that builds you back up, refills that cup?
I definitely feel for me personally, just piggybacking off what I just said, the meditation piece and how you start your day. I learned this a few years ago. How your first 45 minutes to an hour of your waking cycle really sets everything in motion for your day. So I really do my best for that time to be very intimate. I try to not touch my phone, and I'm going into a meditation followed by doing some affirmations. Then I do my best to do some reading, or I turn on an audio podcast, and then I go and touch some sunlight. Let that light just soak in, because again, I feel if you're able to start your day to where you don't feel rushed. Like a lot of us are on autopilot when we start our days, and it's no judgment, like we're grabbing our phone and scrolling through all this crap. And sometimes it does get me where I'm thrown out of my routine. But what I've noticed is the days where I can intentionally set myself up for that, those days, even if they are intense, I feel like I get through them more gradually because I make that personal time to do my self care.
All right, thank you so much for sharing. Again, I apologize for the
Yeah.
background noise. Kids don't
Oh,
know how
good.
to
Yeah.
play video games calmly. So again, all viewers, hey, we've been there. We played the games, but again,
Yep. Exactly.
focusing in on what you said, the it's that intentional time of how you set the tone for your day. I definitely know what it's like. Definitely know that value, that importance of it. So again, thank you for sharing. Our next question is the creative balance, the mental health. So you talk about setting the space, the meditation, the simple things, the joys in life. What are you doing to set boundaries as a creative, as you pursue, as you create? We get negative comments sometimes. You have, you know, you're an entrepreneur, so you'll have angry customers or, different things that like that are intentionally trying to poke you, bring you down. What boundaries are you setting in this creative space that keeps you safe, keeps you going, keep you creating?
I would say the biggest thing is I take none of this personal. Rather, it's somebody who's saying one nation is the best or saying one nation is the worst. I take none of it personal. So I'm not hearing either one of them. Now, obviously, if we have a client and there's an issue, I'm going to work tirelessly to solve that in the most positive manner. However, I believe it comes back to the humility piece and understanding that if you are somebody who is a indie creator, a creator in general, or entrepreneur, you have to be able to assume the risk for these type of adventures and be able to live with whatever outcome happens. So that is how I set my boundaries, is understanding the type of playing field that I'm in. Am I comfortable jumping into this arena and everything that could come with it? I feel a lot of indie creators don't really understand that. They don't even understand the type of arena they're getting in and what all comes with the space. And if you're not comfortable with getting in this and it could all possibly go to zero, you shouldn't get in it. You have to get in for the love, because if it's something that you love, you're going to do it regardless.
I love that. That is so important. I was online and I saw somebody do a post, and the company, they basically canceled their whole entire campaign because it wasn't what they wanted. And and you hit it nail on the head. If you're not doing what you love, why bother? So thank you for sharing. Thank you.
Yeah.
It's really important just to bring that value, reiterate. So our next question, kind of our main focus with Walkies and Talkies, it's following your dreams. Every intentional step is a part of your journey. It's who you are. So let's start at the beginning. We shared you watched Neo Yokio and you started writing your own manga, your own stories. So what was that like? That beginning of One Nation manga or management?
Yeah, that's a really good question. So I have to take it back probably 3 years prior to 2015 when I was a senior in high school, and I saw this video of this rapper named Slim Jesus. I don't know if you saw it, but he was like this white boy with the stereotypical like guns in his video and stuff, and it went viral. And I was like, man, if he could do this, I could do this. Kind of like the moment I had with the Jaden Smith. I first was a music artist, and it was seeing him do that and get that kind of attention that he got, that I was like, oh man, like I can do this. And at that time I didn't know that writing and music was going to be something that I took serious. I had been writing poems, like not consistently, but when I was in like eighth, ninth grade, I started writing poems, but I didn't really experiment with my creative side much until, this happened as my senior year of high school. So next thing I know, I've written like 30 plus songs, and in a 4 month period of time. And these aren't like these short 1 minute songs that you're seeing like come out today. These are like full 3, 4, 5 minute songs that I'm putting together, where I'm writing every lyric, I'm writing the hook, like so the music journey was one that I pursued with no patience. And I wanted everything quick. I felt like, man, I just made this song. I'm going to be the next big hit. And it didn't work that way. I invested if I'm honest, probably over $15,000, maybe even more, my own capital into my own career. And it did not work out the way that I thought it would the way that I thought it would, but I was able to pivot. So this is very important for people. You can still be a creator or do things creative. It may just not be in the lane that you initially entered. I entered in music. Music did not go the way that I thought it would. I was able to segue into mangas. So the important thing is I'm still writing, I'm still creating. I'm just doing it in a way to where this is where God wanted me to be. And now, because of the patience I have, I didn't rush this project. I've dropped one, I've dropped one manga, my one shot, and I have been writing my series since 2018, but the one shot didn't come out until 2024. So this again is a practice of patience. It came out December 8th, 2024. So this is 6 years of patience before I dropped any type of content. But it's because of all the trials and tribulations I went through in music that allow me to develop that patience and not rushing and understanding, hey, we have to build a community. We got to get people to care. It's like, it was very egotistical of me to think that I make this song and this just all of a sudden going to blow up. You haven't paid your dues. You know, you have to earn your stripes. Now, it was good from a confidence standpoint. Like, you should have that confidence about yourself. But I think that's another thing that I do my best to educate our clients on with One Nation is, hey, this is a journey, you know, and if it really is your dream, you're gonna fall in love with the day-to-day process. You're gonna fall in love with getting beaten up. You're gonna fall in love with just the day-to-day grind. Hey, you know, it takes time to build an audience. Are you really to persevere 10 years without ROI to continue to create and stay in this space? A lot of people aren't willing to do that. I was willing to do that. And I'm still willing to do that. Before we earn anything of monetary value, I've given out a substantial amount of content and tools and resources for free. And people have to understand that's just the price you have to pay.
Thank you. That is an amazing, just that beginning journey where every great story starts with a failure. And I'm not saying that your music journey was a failure, but you wouldn't have where you are now with this. You wouldn't have started writing manga if your music career had taken off. So that's so valuable. That's such a lesson that can be shared with so many people, whatever creative pursuit they have. Of just, hey, it's not gonna look like, it's not how you start is not how you finish, and so amazing. So thank you for sharing that. um Now, you do share some of the challenges that you face, music not working out, some clients not liking your work, but you being willing to resolve it. Were there any other challenges or moments where you felt like, okay, maybe let me rethink this plan, let me try again, or let's go back to the drawing board?
Yeah, there was a time, this was right before COVID broke out. I was actually going through a really dark mental place, and I kind of wanted to just step out of the creative field altogether. And I wasn't doing well. I was at this time working on both music and One Nation writing at the same time. And I was like, I'm just like mentally not here. And it's crazy, the my partner who was my artist at the time that we were working to build like the One Nation characters. He had reached out and was like, he hadn't heard from me in months. He was like, what's are we still doing this? And that really got me back to being like, no, you can't run away from your calling. You can't run away from your purpose. And I locked back in. And, you know, there's been so many hurdles that I've gone through building this company, through artists ghosting me, through getting taken advantage of, like various people that don't really have your back that you thought did. And like I learned so much like on this journey. I mean, when I when I first started music, I got taken out of $1,000 with this guy who promised me all this crap. And like I gave him $1,000 of my hard-earned money. But again, all these experiences and these like different perceived hurdles, they allow me to build into who I am today. That's why I preach integrity so much, because I know there are a lot of people not operating with that in this space. And there's a lot of people who are disguising generosity with dry hate and all these different things that are going on within this space. And I don't tolerate any of that. And that's what I believe is going to continue to make One Nation just a place where people feel true community, is because I've literally been through it all in 8 years. I mean, and it's 10 plus years if you consider my music experiences as well. So all of those hurdles have helped shape me. And through those different things, I've had to pivot and adjust to put processes in place to make sure that if I meet you today and you're like a 19, 20-year old me, I can confidently look you in the eye and tell you, hey, I got your back, and I'm going to show you what it takes to properly build in this space. That doesn't mean you're not going to have your own adversities, because you are. Nobody goes through any type of growth without them. But you don't have to necessarily face the same exact hurdles that I did.
That right there, like that sums up your character. You are a person of community, and that is beautiful. That is amazing. You are a man of integrity, because I've had interactions with you, and always honest, always true. So those challenges you face, and you willing to apply the same things that you've been through to other people to lift them up. Amazing. You are an amazing person. So thank you for sharing
Oh,
that.
thank you, Camie. I appreciate that.
Most welcome. So following right along with talking to your younger self, if someone else today wanted to start a manga company or get out there and start writing, pivot to writing for manga, what advice would you tell them to share?
The biggest advice I could give them is patience. You have to understand that it's a marathon. And if you do not love it, please, and anybody that hears this, this may be the most important thing I say this entire interview. If you do not love it, it will fail. Because at the end of the day, you thinking about the freaking Rory, it's not going to make you get up at 5 o'clock in the morning to build your business. That eventually will get old. If you are doing this for the aesthetic, for clout, for fame, for girls, whatever it is for you, it is not going to work. You have to actually really love it, because there are so many days where it's lonely, and it's a journey of isolation. That doesn't mean you won't meet great people along the way who will support and build you up and help you grow. But this has to be something that you love. And that's the best advice I could give you. You need to be posting at least 3 times a day on multiple different platforms to build. I've given the blueprint on how to do this. I don't know how to freaking edit videos. I don't, I'm not a social media guru. What I have though is passion, the ability to convey a message in a short period of time to get people to feel called to it. And then I just have my generosity in who I am as a human, in my belief in myself. So with those things alone, I believe it will propel me to where I am supposed to go. If you are somebody who is able to sign up for that, you will be successful here. Rather you build your own company, or you're looking to just build a community. If you can sign up for that, do this consistently over a 5 to 10 year period of time, you will be able to make a career out of this.
Wow, thank you for sharing that. Those things, so important, so valid. It's a marathon. It's not a sprint. Patience. That is a lesson that a lot of young creatives, they just take for granted that this is going to take time. So, from your own experience, your own story, thank you so much for sharing that. So we are nearing the end of Walkies and Talkies, and you've watched Walkies and Talkies. So gratitude erases negativity. I'm a firm believer of it, because I've had bad days, and the only thing pulling me back or keeping me going is the gratitude. So in this moment, in this time, I know you have so much going on, so many things and places that you're doing and building. What is one thing or something that you are grateful for today in this moment?
my health and the health of my family and the people that are really close to me. I mean, I wouldn't trade that for anything. You can't put a price on that. You know, I sometimes get news with people close to me that a family member just got diagnosed with a terminal illness, or you can't, money can't replace that. The fame doesn't replace that. So every day I'm able to wake up and I'm healthy and the people around me and in my inner circle, my family are healthy. That is what I'm most grateful for.
Wow, thank you. Family is everything. So thank you so much for sharing. Thank you for being on the show. Ladies, gentlemen, theys, thems, we have Anthony Cutting of One Nation Manga, One Nation Management. Go follow him on all of his social medias. Thank you for watching Walkies and Talkies. Have the most amazing day. Stay tuned, stay blessed. Love you always. Bye.